Okay, what I have discovered in my life, if one person asks me for something, that means there's a whole lot of other people who want to know the same something. And what brought this little video around is he asked me what this size of this piece was. Now what this is a screw cap that goes on your petcocks. There's the rest of the petcock here that goes through the gas tank. He says, don't you have a thread gauge? He says, oh, I'm not really certain how to use it. Well, you've got American thread, standard American. You've got your metric threads, your Whitworth threads, all kinds of other, like I think there's 3 different major British threads. Then you had non-standardized threads. Well, the only way to know what you got is to have one of these here. This is a standard American thread gauge. And very important is that you have one that has every size in the general range. See if you can see it there or not. So this little print is, so I've got 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. The American stuff goes up by 2s. How do you know if it fits? Well, Harley Davidson had a unique idea that 24 thread was a good idea, which is a very different size thread from most other things. 3/8 24 is very common. You know it fits when there's no movement. It's just right there. If there's any light, any gaps, anything, that's the wrong size. You got something else. So you can put it on your bolt, you can put it on your nut. And if you don't have good eyesight, then you're going to have to get some kind of magnification and light and see what the hell you're doing. You probably can't really see it in the video, but the same concept. So the fine thread in Harley Davidson world, unless you're dealing with a small screw, like this little thing, that's the screw that goes on the top up here, is almost always a 24 thread. The diameter, inner or outer, well, they use some weird stuff too, which we're going to show you. Now, you probably can't see this on the video. I know enough about Harleys, even with bad eyesight, I can feel it and tell that this is a 24 thread. I've done this enough. You probably can't pick that up on the video, it's really small to see. But that's how we know this is a 24 thread. Now here's the magic. Looks like a 5/8, don't it? It ain't. So you got to have one of these. This is called a dial caliper. You can put it on the inside of your bolt. Okay. See what size it is. On the outside of your bolt. See what size it is. See? 0.368. Okay. That's 3/8 thread. And you got to have one of these. This tells you what your caliper reading is here into inches. It's a conversion chart. Handy reference. Absolute must. You've got to have it. Got to have it. So this says, it's about 5/8 this little piece. That doesn't make it 5/8. The 5/8 reading is 0.625. The 3/8 reading here, let's find 3/8. And it's 1/8, 3/16, 1/4. 3/8 is here, is 0.375. Okay, you got to go with your closest number. So again, because it's going to have a little clearance there. See that? This is 3.3. It's in divisions of 10, and this is point right there. It's point at that particular. Like I said, there's going to be some variance, so it's going to be this one 0.369 on a dial caliper. 0.375 would be here. Whoops, up a little bit there. So it's going to have a little bit of variance. And this here is the bolt. See the difference here? That's about 30 thousandths clearance. But it has to do this little thing called screw on. Okay? It has to have clearance. 30 thousandths is about your right clearance for your nuts and bolts. And the machining, that's called a machine tolerance. So let's see what this little booger is. Okay. So this comes out at 0.646, 0.646. 0.646. Now to tap or die this, you're going to have a special tap, bottoming tap made, and a special die because there's no room for a regular die. There's a regular die here, 3/8 24. And you can have them smaller, but you're going to need a really small little thing to fit on that and clean it up. That's just, they make this stuff special all the time. You just got to know the company to go to. So we were at 0.646. Let's see what this says. Okay. 5/8 is 0.625. 0.646. Here's 0.64. So this is 41/64. Not a 5/8. 41/64 of an inch. Special size. 5/8 is 0.625. That's too far away. You're going to be within 5 thousandths or less clearance, as I showed you. So there it is. You can put your die in a die holder, okay, and obviously put this into an aluminum gel vise, but it's pretty clean. I'm not really actually dyeing the threads, I'm just spinning it. Okay, it's got a little dirt on it. Other than that, now, really funny, I had a discussion with top mechanic Duncan Keller of Yankee Ingenuity. And I told him, I says, make sure you dye all the threads and tap all the holes. He says, oh, I don't use that. I'm, what do you mean you don't use that? Oh, it removes material. Like, really? My mouth fell open. Put it right through by hand. How the fuck do you think they cut the threads in the first fucking place? Once they're cut, pal, they're cut. It's only going to remove material if your threads are squished. Didn't remove no material. A little bit of plating, a little bit of dirt. Did it by hand. New old stock. New old stock is wonderful. Okay. Here's the bolt. Or the nut. I'm going to thread this by hand. At least that's the idea. And come on. Sometimes these things just don't want to go on my hand because you got to get it just right. There we go. It's a hand fit. Remember, we showed you it's about 40 thousandths clearance between the two. So all you're going to be removing, unless the threads are fucked up, is any dirt. Okay? It's a hand fit. Boom. Just like you want to screw them on by hand. Got the concept? You can't screw it on by hand. Either you got too much dirt or your threads are fucked. Which is why you need your tap and your die to straighten out your threads. But if you got a weird shape, you're going to have a specially made tool. The neck, the 1-inch neck, woo, well, it's a special size. It's not really 1 inch. I had a special tap made up for it. I suppose a 1 inch might work, but it's not really a 1 inch. See? Perfect. Same clearance. So that's that. That's how you use these tools. So I made that. All I got asked for is what this size is. But since he didn't know, we were all born one time, which means when we were born, we didn't know anything. We didn't know how to talk. We didn't know how to eat. We didn't know how to walk. Life's a learning process. There's no such thing as a stupid question, except the one you don't ask. Got that? Except the one you don't ask. So if you don't know something, ask. If I can help you out some way, I will. If I don't know, we'll try and find out for you. So I certainly don't know everything either. But that's that. This is how you use your tap and die. Obviously, you want to put this stuff, like I said, in an aluminum jawed vise to tighten it up if you actually need to truly chase the threads or clean them. But you've got to have that. You need a full tap and die set to do this stuff right. That's just your reality. You have to invest in tools. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.